Hey guys, Mike Morales here at Fin Factory Kayak and Tackle. Today we're going to do a real quick brief review on things that are working right now that we're seeing that are being very successful when we're out on the water. These are some of the things that I use pretty much on every trip that I do, whether it be personal or for a guided trip. I can tell you the last couple of weeks the fishing has been fire, okay, and by using these different types of methods. So the first thing I want to talk about is topwater. This is a really great choice of topwater. Right now, this is kind of the color that I'm throwing, which is kind of a bone and chrome. This one does have a speckled pattern, which would, I guess, imitate a speckled trout. And this guy is made by Adams Lures, which is really a new lineup that we brought into the store. But, you know, how you work this guy, it's pretty simple. Well, I think most people have heard, you know, walk the dog, do that kind of thing. And that's what it is. You know, varying your cadence is very critical when you're out on the water. Some people, you know, you want a more nervous or erratic retrieve, which is a click, 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 click. Some people like the kind of the slow motion, which is a click, clack, click, clack. But I think the biggest part to when you are retrieving a topwater lure and you do get a blow up, a lot of people make the mistake of stopping their retrieve. And I think that's just the wrong thing to do. You want to continue to carry through with your action of your bait all the way till you get to the boat. In my opinion, and what I've seen that's worked, is you don't want them to really get a good look at it, so you just keep your constant retrieve. The other part that you want to do is during the middle of your retrieve, what I like to do is kind of stop and pause halfway through that retrieve cycle. So as I'm getting, you know, halfway to the boat or to the kayak, I'm going to go ahead and pause for about 3 seconds, because a lot of times those fish are kind of trailing it. I don't know what I don't know if they're deciding if they're going to strike or not, but sometimes on that pause, halfway through your retrieve, you'd be surprised how many hits that you do get on this particular guy. So guys, that is very, very critical to using a topwater, and we'll show you guys here out on the water here soon. But I think what's just as important as working the topwater is the knot that you tie. And you definitely want to tie a loop knot to increase the action and the movement and flow of this bait. So really simple, I'm going to show you how to do that. You're basically going to take your piece of poly. You know, this is obviously mono. We're using it just because it's very easy to see, very easy to demonstrate. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a loop, just an overhand knot, just like that. I'm going to go right through that guy as such. I'm going to go through the eye of the actual lure itself. I'm going to go back through the loop that I made, the overhand knot. I'm going to cycle it through, you know, just to get a good grasp on it. And then I'll take the tag in and go around the main line 2 times. I don't like big knots. To me, they're just more visible. Then I'm going to go back through the loop that I made and then cinch it tight. Okay, I want to try to get that knot, I don't know, about 1/2 inch to the actual lure eye. So I'm going to cinch that guy down just like that. And now you got yourself a pretty nice little loop in there to create that more action in the flow of the actual lure. So keep that in mind. I know that this works absolutely. You want to leave yourself about an 1/8 to 1/16 inch tag just in case you do get slippage, just like that. And you will definitely increase your results by just tying on that loop. Okay, now one of the things that happens is somebody will go out, you catch a fish, you lose your leader or whatever, and you tie direct to your braid. Guys, it's okay to tie direct to braid, but it does become problematic as that braid tends to get tied up into the split rings. Those of you that have tried it, you know, it seems like every 3rd cast you'll have your line actually get wrapped inside the split ring, which is a real pain in the ass when you're out on the water. So if you can manage to put the your leader on there, definitely a good way to do it. I like to go 18 to 20 inches. I don't like to go too long on the leader because I don't like that knot to go through my rod tip because I think it just slows down my cast. So that being said, the shorter the better from my perspective, just so you can get that good cast without the knots going through your eyes. Okay. Probably my favorite form of fishing, you know, over the actual topwater most of the time, most of the year, most of the season, is just fishing jerk bait, jerk shad. Plastics is what people call them. In this particular case, the Z-Man paddlers are my favorite of all time, just because of the pliability, the action in the bait, the strength against pinfish. I mean, these guys just take a beating. you can pretty much keep this lure on your rod for like weeks, which I don't recommend because it will collect scents and that kind of thing. But these actually do come pre-scented with Procure. So really added feature that I think helps with getting fish. So how do I rig these guys? Well, there's a couple of different ways. You can rig it with just a straight jig head. You know, my favorite size and weight of jig head is a 16th ounce. Basically this guy, as you can see, will just go right into the bait itself and you know, create that presentation, but it tends to collect a lot of grass. The other way to do it is weedless, and I can tell you right now that the Texas Eye jig head from Z-Man provides a tremendous amount of action. It also stays on the hook, in my opinion, the best, okay? So how do you rig this guy? This looks kind of complicated. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take the tip of the hook, you're gonna go right through a small portion of the bait. So just like that. So as you guys can see that, I'm just kind of working it right through there. Then I'm gonna pull it all the way through to the hook keeper. You gotta get all the way out of there, and it just popped out of there. And this is now what creates that locking point onto the hook itself. So that guy's not gonna come off of there no matter what. Now you're gonna tuck your hook. You're gonna go right into the belly flap of your hook. You wanna try to get as central as possible to the bait itself so that it creates so that it swims right, okay? So I'm gonna go right through there. And now we've got a really seamless, weedless hook here that's gonna really help you maintain your bait in the water longer without the issues of getting caught up in the grass. Now I will say that when that fish does bite down on that guy, that hook comes up. I can tell you the hookup ratio is a little bit less as just a standard jig, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be a lot more easy to use in the water, a lot less problematic with weeds getting caught up on it, and it's just gonna make your day a little bit better when you're out there in the water. So this is the Texas Eye by Z-Man, and when we get out on the water, I'm gonna show you how this works, okay? School of Reds, well, kind of. There was a boat that passed by and I saw big boils. I immediately threw my top water into them when that boat passed by and was able to get on them. So I know I'm in the right area. I just got to find them. So let's see what this top water will do. Pretty sure this is something behind it. I don't know what it is. Oops, man. As soon as you look away, you see? See, that fish was behind it. They're right up here. There's a fish right there. There's a couple of them. Jesus, they're all around me. They're just not really moving too much. Let's try it again. Oh, there we go. Ah, come on. Come on. It's like they're just playing with it. See that? That seemed to be like a couple of fish wanting it. Still behind it. See it? See that wake? Come on. See if we can get a glimpse. Ah, he backed off. Let's do it again. All right, let's see. Come on. Come on. Oops. Okay, that time he hooked up. See how you don't stop your cadence? If you don't stop your cadence, they will continue to pursue that bait. That's why a lot of people make that mistake of stopping, just like I said in that video. This is a keeper fish. Man, there's fish all around him. Easy. A little feisty. He's not going to win any tournaments, but nevertheless, he's a good fish. Probably 21, 20 maybe. All right, come on. All right, so here we go. Pretty, let's see that, yeah. Okay. Let him go. Let's continue to see. Look, over here, I'm seeing some movement over here on the top. I'm also seeing it right in front of me, so we're gonna move forward a little bit. Oof, ugly. Come on. Ah. Did y'all see that? Switch tactics here. I'm gonna go to the plastic, see how we do with that. I know this is working. Pretty much got a limit already on this guy. Let's see if we can get some good results on the plastic. Throwing the trusty Z-Man Houdini, which is my favorite color. There's a fish right there. Fuck. There we go. Fish on. Finally. All right. Tell you, there's fish like crazy in here. Not very big ones, but they're fun. And if you want to eat, there's plenty of food in here. It's a good little keeper. If you're gonna keep reds, this is the size you want to keep them at. Right at 20 inches. All right. Let's get this guy off the line. Okay. Yeah. A little 2-pounder, 3-pounder. Okay. There we go. It's a good fish. Good fish. Yes. Those you could definitely see swimming away. I saw a little wake, wasn't sure. God dang it. Getting my coffee all wet, homie. Hoping you could see this. All right, so go ahead and remove this. It's a good red, 22 inches, 2.5 pounder, maybe 3. I'm in some ultra skinny water. We're probably less than a foot. So a lot of people have these gigantic jig heads for their lures, man, for their plastics. You don't need a big one, okay? If you look at the size of this guy, it's just barely exposed. You know, yeah, you're probably not getting the best hookup ratio, but at the same time, you're not getting all them weeds and stuff and getting tangled up in the weeds. You can really work your lure and present a natural presentation, okay? So that being said, you know, this is the Z-Man Trout Eye jig head, okay? Very small on a 5-inch bait. That's all you need. This is a 5-inch plastic, guys, in a 1.5 foot of water. So don't be afraid to go bigger on your baits. And don't be afraid to use a smaller jig head. You see where it rides on that guy? Probably about 1/3 of the way up. And that's it. Yeah, we're recording. Got another fish on here. Tried it with a different lure this time. I'm using the Texas Made, which is kind of a newer. I'm giving them a tryout before we put them in the shop. I like the fact that they're Texas made and they're even called Texas Made. So, whoa, I got Jared RC over here. You got one? Yeah, they seem to all be like this sized. So, Jared, what are you throwing there? You throwing a Creole Croaker?
Creole Croaker Z-Man.
Okay.
Little paddle tail, 4-inch.
Perfect. And I'm throwing, I just switched to this Texas Made, and I was taking out a backlash.
Yeah.
When I went to reel in my line, he was on the other end. I guess he ate it as it sat.
That one has some nice spots on it.
Light turned off in here.
I feel like they moved off.
Yeah. Ready to roll?
Let's do it.
Soft machine, you know, it holds about 5 gallons of water, and it's good for kind of cleaning off your feet or whatever. I got it attached right here on the trailer. It's got a little on-off switch, so that way we can get a good rinse on those, you know, mirage drives. You know, get all that salt water off. Being that this is some extremely salty water, man. So, you know, just a heads up. You know, it's always good to have a little bit of water on your boat, on your trailer or your truck, especially if you got a long drive. Definitely want to get that salt off of there.